everybody, and welcome to I'm doing a makeup tutorial. Also, it's morning, which is why my voice sounds like this. But we're gonna do it. I'm gonna show you how I do it, and sorry if I look at myself a lot I can see myself, so that's why if I don't look at the camera, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so yeah. Let's just do it. I have my tea because I'm British. I don't know why I'm wasting so much time, but so I'll just jump into it. So the first step is boring. Well, the first few steps are boring. So I'm not going to film them, but I will tell you what I do. I'm going to put on my foundation and my concealer and my powder. It's just so I can go in and have a blank slate. So I'm not going to film that, but I guess I will come back when I have finished that. I'm going to erase my face, because if you're pale like me, the second you take away the color that's left, you look like a piece of paper. Okay, so I am back, and now I do not have a face anymore. This is pretty standard for me. This is just what I look like with foundation on. But yes, so I've done foundation, concealer, and powder. So now we get to get into the contouring, which is obviously like the bulk of this. It's mostly contouring. So I don't use a reference for like clean-faced male characters. I just sort of like use what I already know about facial structures. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, I know how to make myself look like a man. I just know. But like if you're not sure, using a reference never hurts. It's never like a bad idea. So if you want to use a reference, absolutely go ahead. I do not. I do for many of my characters that involve a lot of makeup, but not for clean-faced male characters. So for Ron, the first thing that you want to do is I start off with a bronzer. This one. I need a new one. It's getting really low. But I start off with a bronzer, and I just sort of shade in like my whole cheek. So starting off with my natural cheekbone. So my natural cheekbone, as you can see, is right here. You can see on the other side too, like it is visible, but I also, I can feel for it. If you don't know where it is, you can feel for it. So starting at my natural cheekbone, because my natural cheekbones, I feel like are in a good spot for a man. I don't know. I start at my natural cheekbone and just come all the way down to my chin. And then I shade in this area. Yeah. I like using bronzer for this section. I think it's important because you're also going to use like contouring separately, not the same. And I don't use them the same. They are different. I do make sure to use bronzer for this section. It looks really dark on camera. It's not actually this dark in real life. But this is about how dark I'll go. And then I will take the bronzer and move it up on my forehead. On my forehead, I'm going to keep it just in this area here, just in my temple area. I'm not going to go over the forehead because I'm trying to make my forehead look as big as possible. Because I guess big foreheads are masculine. I don't know. It's just the way it is. And yeah. Just keeping it right in this area and then connecting it down to my cheekbone. The idea is to make my face look big. This makes my face look big. Female contouring, generally, if like I was just to do my makeup regularly, like for a woman, like if I was just trying to make myself look pretty. Like I don't really contour for any of my characters, but like, no, I do it for Fleur. For Fleur. Like if I was doing Fleur's contouring, it would be like about trying to make my face look smaller. This is not. It's just about trying to make my face look bigger and squarer. Yeah. Cool. Wow, that really looks dark on camera. I don't know why. But, that's the shape. And I do it on the other side, and the other side's always worse. I don't know why. I think I have a conspiracy theory that makeup just sticks differently on the side of the face, and I really don't know why, because theoretically it should be the same, but it just never looks as good, and I don't know why. Like, I genuinely have no idea why that could possibly be. Okay, so that is about the contouring. So that's like the basic shape. This is like less contouring, more like an outline. So okay, so that's my face and forehead. So now we get to chin. Chin stuff. You're just trying to make your jaw as square as possible, and actually most of this will come with the actual contouring and not with the bronzer. But I do still like to give myself a little bit of shape. I have a kind of square jawline, but it is just really soft generally. So it's just about going like really making your jaw square. And I have this like my chin does like a pointy thing, so I try and neutralize that as well and try and make it look as flat as possible. And then my neck, I do give myself try and get myself like a man neck. I don't know, is that a thing? I feel like it is. I basically just go in like that on the side. I usually only use bronzer on my neck because it's like not important, so I don't want people to like focus on my neck because my neck looks really dark. I want people to like it's just sort of blending the character into like me as a human being, I guess. Especially because my contouring generally tends to like change my skin tone a little bit because I do a lot of it, like a lot of layers. It's just heavy contouring, so that make genuinely, it's because I'm using warm tones and bronzer, it does just change my skin tone, and I do need to blend it into my neck, and it's not a big deal. It's just the way it goes. Okay, so it just sort of shade my entire neck, kind of, but focusing. I don't know why it looks so dark on camera. My God, it doesn't look like dark in real life, I promise. But yeah, just down, pretty much shading the entire set. Exposure draw. And that kind of looks better, more accurate to real life, I guess. I don't know why it looks like that. But it's just like doing there, and then I will make an Adam's apple. I do make my Adam's apple with real contour, not bronzer. That's the idea. I think you can kind of see it. I'll probably go ahead and change it later, but that's the general idea. So now it's time for nose contouring. I use an eyeshadow brush, just sort of like a flat one. And this is what I do for my nose contour. So I'm going to start by covering the entire bottom of my nose in contour. So for Ron, I'm trying, this is not what I do for all of my characters, all my male characters, but for Ron, because this is a Ron makeup tutorial and not a general boy tutorial, because I don't have a general boy tutorial. I know some people have sort of like generic boy makeup and then they just like change some things. All of my makeup for all of my characters are different. Like, they have overlapping and they're similar, but they're not the same ever. Which is why each of my characters' makeup generally takes me an hour to 45 minutes each, because they're all different. It's really fun. I put a lot of work into my art for you guys. My girl characters are different too. Well, I try, but my girl characters generally tend to be a little more generic, I feel. It makes me sad. It's true. So I'm just going up the sides a little bit, and then I did go over my bridge just a little bit, but that's going to be toned down. It looks really dramatic right now, but it'll be toned down. And then this is the important part. Go the sides of your nose, but not if you're doing normal nose contouring, you're kind of trying to make your nose look smaller. I don't know how many people know how to nose contour. I used to do it a lot, so I know how to do it. But with a boy, you want to exaggerate how wide the nose is, so you're going down the sides of your nose and not bringing it really close to your actual bridge, like you're starting at the outside of your bridge and working down and out, because it makes your nose look bigger. And I'm doing Ron, so I want my nose to be bigger. Again, not all of my boy characters have huge noses. Ron does. It's just the way I do his makeup. And I do go up sides. Then I go across my bridge. Sorry, exposure. But just across my bridge and then up. I don't know why I do this. I actually do this for most of my male characters, and I don't actually know why I do it. I don't do it for Liam, but I don't really do Liam anymore. So I guess I'm just shading in this area. Going over the bridge. And then sometimes I'll go in and just shade the top of my nose a little bit. Because I think it's kind of cute. But I think it also weirdly makes the nose look bigger, and I don't know why that is. Yep, that's about it. Yeah. Cool. You can tell, like, my nose just looks a lot bigger. A lot wider. A little longer. I feel like it looks longer even. I don't know how that happened, because I was mostly going for wider, but it just looks bigger than my real nose. Yep. Cool. So the next part is actual contouring. I'm gonna go in with eyeshadow, actually. And I go in with this cool toned, well, this kind of, I don't know, I think more cool toned, brown color. And that's what I use for real contouring. So I'm just going over the actual, like, cheekbone part of my face. So I'm not shading all the way down. I'm just shading the actual cheekbone, but I am bringing it all the way down to my chin, but like not as much. Like I'm focusing it in this area here and then dragging it down a little bit, but I'm not going into this area. That's what the bronzer is for. And then I do bring it a little bit up under my temple, but not all the way, like not as much, just like a little bit. Blending it. It's all blending. It's such a pain. And I'm gonna go back in with some bronzer and just sort of blend the contouring more into like the shadows of the face. I've done the other side, and obviously, as always, it looks worse, but it's okay. If you notice, I angle myself this way a lot for a lot of my characters. It's because this side is always worse. It's always worse. I don't know why it's always worse. So for Ron, I'm going to try and give him more hooded eyes than I have. So to do this, I'm going to go in with a little bit of eyeshadow. I'm using the same bronzer. It's not really eyeshadow. In the outside and the inside corners, but keeping it really close to the crease. And then take this one and I'm gonna hold it like upside down. I don't know how to show you what I'm doing. So that like it's like this with some product on like the bottom, and just put it in the crease, but keeping it like in the crease. Like I don't want to blend it out really. It's just connecting it. So you can see compared to it, I'm trying to give myself like kind of look like I have hooded eyes. Do this for Arthur a little bit, but I do it slightly less dramatically for Ron because Arthur is older. So everything has to be really dramatic for him. I'm going to go in with a slightly darker color, the contour color, and define it just a smidge more. Cool it down a little bit so it's not quite so. And then from here, I'm just going to blend it out a little bit, not heavily. Again, you're trying to keep it mostly in the crease, but blend it out like a little bit. Like that. I'm gonna repeat that to the other side. Yeah, I'm gonna put that to the other side. Okay, so I went ahead and did the other eye, and I also added in like a little bit of extra nose contouring just because I felt like it was kind of receding into my face a little bit, which is normal. You're gonna have to keep adding and taking away throughout the process until you find what you really like. And this is what I'm really liking right now. So you may be thinking, Miriam, why did you do your eyeshadow before your eyebrows? Because I always do that and people always yell at me, but here's the thing, it's just my process. So now we're gonna do the chin, because I said I was gonna do that and then I did my eyes instead. So not, I don't know why I'm doing my makeup all weird now that I'm filming it, because this is not usually the order I do it in. I'm gonna go in like this. And what I'm doing is, because my jaw slants a little like this, see, I'm trying to make it as square as possible. So I'm bringing this down in a way so as to really make my jaw look really square. Blend into my cheek. And then on the bottom, because I have a pretty weak jawline, like it kind of looks stronger than it is on the camera, but I have a pretty weak jawline. What I'm gonna do is almost go a little bit on top of my actual jaw. So normally you go under your jaw, but because mine's a little weak, go on top of it because it makes it look stronger. As you can see, this side versus this side, and again, I've already done a little bit of contouring, but it is pretty dramatically different, and that is the idea. Then I am gonna go in with more of the contour like underneath and kind of try and hide my double chin. Because again, weak jawline squad. And then like I said, I am going a little bit, you can see, onto this like little dip to try and still square that out too. Cool. And then for Ron, I actually accentuate, I have a little bit of butt chin. And I actually like accentuating that on Ron. It's like a character trait. A little bit of bronzer usually. And what I'm doing is trying to make my feminine butt chin look like a masculine butt chin because they don't look the same. Just making it more dramatic. That's a little too dramatic. I'll probably go in with some powder and chill that down a little bit because it's a little more dramatic than it probably needs to be. But first I'm gonna, that's what I always say, is just like finish it out first, and then you can go in and calm it down if you feel like it's too much. But also, like, GIF quality is so bad, and like you're already filming it. My camera is not very good. I have an Android. So I mean, like, the amount of like degradation it's already gonna go through, you want to make it way more extreme than you think you need to have it. Like, it won't look good in real life. Like, it just won't look good in real life. It's gonna look ridiculous. It's like stage makeup. Like, stage makeup has always got to be more extreme than you would do if you were actually trying to pass as that thing in real life, because it just won't read from the audience. It's like the same thing. Also, I feel like a lot of it, although the makeup is a big part of it, is also like the attitude you bring to the character and like the way you position your body. So like, I know that things that I do in ways that I act that I only do when I'm doing a male character, because like that's just the way it is, you know? It's a lot of it is acting as well. Okay. So some of this is definitely a little too much. Just threw my brush. So I'm gonna go and just calm some of it down a little bit with some powder and also, again, my disgusting beauty blender. Again, this is normal. It's normal to realize that you've gone too heavy and need to tone it down. In my opinion, though, it's better to go heavier than lighter. Which I would not say generally about makeup, but I would say about RP makeup because, again, it's gonna go through gifts and it's just gonna, like, destroy the quality. So, again, I would not say it for regular makeup that you're gonna wear outside, but for RP makeup, more is more. And the more extreme, the better in most cases. But I hope you can see that what I just did definitely blend it all together and make it look a lot more human and natural. Okay, this is the fun part. We get to do blush. Blush is my favorite. Blush makes everything work. So I'm gonna go in with blush pretty much all over my face, focusing it sort of in the areas where I don't have any contouring, but also keeping it in a sort of masculine place. So keeping it high on my cheekbones. I'm using kind of a subtle blush, but you do want to use blush because it is gonna sort of make your character look like a person, especially if you're pale like me. Because pale folk, we get red. When we get red, that's like the only color we ever see ever. And so it's good. And I'm just now realizing. And as you can see, like, come on guys, like look at how much more like skin that looks. Also, I realized I forgot some steps. But it's pretty normal also. So I am gonna just take a break because I'm just realizing what I forgot to do. And I'm gonna go in with a little sort of eyeshadow, sort of fan-shaped eyeshadow brush and just under my eyes, kind of just on the outside. And again, this is about trying to make my eyes look smaller and more narrow. It's a little extreme, but that's the idea. Cool. And then, what else was, oh yeah. I want to take a little bit of bronzer and just in the area where I would have a mustache, which by the way, is what we were doing here, because it's the area where you would have a beard. And also I think it's just, I don't know, weirdly masculine, but I am just going to go over the places where I would have facial hair with a little bit of bronzer. Because those areas have stubble, and it makes them a little darker. And I don't have any stubble, so I gotta make it. Alright, cool. Back to blush. So another thing you want to do with blush on male characters is go under the eyes. As you can see, I have very white under eyes, which is the idea for women, is that you want to make that area like pop because it makes your face look smaller. But the thing with men is that they don't, first of all, they don't wear concealer generally. Like, they can, absolutely, but like this man that I'm doing right now is not wearing makeup. And bright white under eyes don't really exist in real life, so it looks like the character's wearing makeup, and that's not the goal. So I'm going to chill out the color of the under eyes with blush. And also, again, the idea of having bright white under eyes and then like contouring in is, it makes your face look smaller, and we don't want our face to look smaller. So that's why I go under my eyes with blush when I'm doing man. And I just look a lot more human now, and it feels like everything's more blended and it looks more natural. It's all the blush. I love blush. I use so much blush, even when I do my regular makeup, like as a human, which I don't usually do. I use blush, a lot of it. I think blush is really underrated and should be used more. And notice that when I'm putting blush on my forehead, I'm putting it in the center of my forehead. Not on the outsides, in the center, and a little bit on my temples. Because, again, we want to make our face look bigger. And if you put it on the outsides, it makes it look smaller. But if you put it on the inside, it makes it look bigger. There you go. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, cool. So at this point, we're getting close to the end. Now we're finally going to do eyebrows. Probably should have done like earlier, but I didn't. So here we are. I don't know how to show you my eyebrows, but what I'm going to do is make them look a little bit more extreme, but not like a whole lot more extreme. I feel like a mistake I made doing male eyebrows like early on is that I made them really bad. That's not what we're going for, but so I'm just going to sketch in a line down here. And then I'm gonna go slightly above my natural brow line, just at my arch, just slightly above. And then I'm gonna follow it down, and then I'm gonna extend my tail slightly. So the areas where I'm filling it in more than I would normally, down here, up at my arch, and down a little bit more. And then I'm going to fill it in fairly heavily. Not like insanely heavily, but more heavily than I probably do for just my regular makeup. I also sometimes bring in a little bit more than I would with my natural makeup. And yeah, it's too heavy. Why does this always happen to me? When I'm filming, like, why can't I just like do my makeup normally when I'm filming it? It's fine. If you mess up your eyebrows, just get some concealer and fix them. And this is why you're supposed to do your eyeshadow after your eyebrows, because you mess up your eyebrows and then you mess up your eyeshadow. Here we go. It looks a little extreme, but it's not really that extreme. Cool. So they're actually kind of light. They don't look light on camera and it's messing me up. They are lighter than I would normally do. Even for like my natural makeup, like it looks so dark on camera. Yeah. That's all it is. Just slightly extended down, up, and down. Again, this is like kind of trial and error. Like, I guess you'll figure out what works for you and your natural eyebrows. I have, pretty thick, I guess, natural eyebrows. So, like, it's a lot harder to take away from me than add because, what am I gonna do? Glue down my eyebrows? I tried that. I'm bad at it. And I also have too much. I think I'm bad at it. That's the answer. I can't glue down my eyebrows. Can't put concealer on my eyebrows though. But then I just like, I put concealer on my eyebrows, but then I just like put brown on top of it again. And then it's still the same shape. It's still my eyebrow shape. It's just different. And again, I went too much on the arch, everybody, but it's fine. This happens, You just gotta take some concealer. Fix your mistakes. It's always about fixing your mistakes. There's nothing wrong with admitting when you messed up. Also, sometimes go on the other side of my arch and just try and they look more extreme than normal, but I think it's just the camera because I'm not really doing anything different than I would normally do. So I think it's fine. There we go. Okay, so there's the eyebrows. And yeah, we're getting pretty close to done. I realized I forgot my Adam's apple and I'm doing everything out of order, but I'm just gonna take some contour color on my eyeshadow brush and just woo, give myself a little Adam's apple. Oh, cute. And just blend that out. Bam. Awesome. Okay. I'm gonna do my lips next. You're really close. So I'm gonna take a little concealer. And that's just on the corners of my lips and the bottom of my bottom lip. Because I have kind of a full, like not super full, but a little bit of a full bottom lip. I'm just trying to make it look thinner. Don't worry if you end up concealing your whole lip, that happens. And then I'm gonna conceal my Cupid's bow because that's kind of a feminine feature generally. Like it's not really, but it's perceived as feminine. And then yeah, so I'm just gonna go in with some makeup remover and remove the concealer just from the center of my lips, making them look more thin. And then, because now the center of my lips is really red because I've been using makeup remover, I'm just gonna powder them. Just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Bam. I think at this point, all we have to do left is freckles. Yay! Freckles are my favorite. They're so fun. How do you do your freckles? How do I do my freckles? That is a really great question. This is my spray bottle. It's got water and eyeshadow in it. I broke an eyeshadow once. I just put it in here every time I break an eyeshadow or like bronzer or something. Anything brown. It gets to go in here with some water, and it's almost out right now, so I'm gonna have to refill it, but I haven't broken anything in a while, so well. I'm gonna spray my face with the spray bottle. And don't wear clothes that you like. I mean, it's not gonna ruin your clothes. It washes out, but like you will get eyeshadow on your clothes, so you know. Be careful. Now you may be thinking, Miriam, does that even show up in your gifts? Not really. Like, it's there if you really look. But the point of the spray bottle freckles is not really for them to like appear in the gifts. It's to blend my skin. Some of the darker ones will probably show up. But no, I mean, it doesn't really show up, but that's not the point. The point is to make it look more like skin, make it look more natural, because when these dry, they're wet. Some of them are still wet, but the dry ones, they go a lot paler. And so it makes it look like more natural skin texture. And it blends everything in, and it just looks better. Like, you know. So, does it really show up in your gifts? Not really. But it's okay, because it does look, it just makes your face look more natural and better. So here's the fun part. So dip your little tiny brush in a little bit of water, and then I put some eyeshadow. I use an eyeshadow color I don't really use very much, because obviously water and eyeshadow are not like the best combination. And here's where I get to go in and do my actual freckles. These are the freckles that don't really show up in GIFs, generally. You know, some people do this with like dry eyeshadow. That looks more natural for like outside, for like real life. Also, I know that liquid eyeliner sometimes works really well if you want natural looking freckles, but I don't want natural looking freckles because I'm not going outside with these freckles. That one was really big. I'll fix it in a minute. I don't want natural looking freckles. I want freckles that'll show up in GIFs. Those ones are big. And don't be afraid to like get up in your eyes too. I mean, be gentle, but like heavily freckled people do have freckles in your eyes. I wish I had natural freckles, you know? I really don't. I have a couple on my nose, but like not really. It's really upsetting because you think as a ginger I'd have them. But I don't. And my mom, who's not even a ginger, totally does. Yeah. Cool. So now, how, if you go a little too intense in the freckles, how do you get rid of them? The spray bottle ones, you can just like touch and they'll go away, like, because they're mostly water. With these ones, either you're just gonna have to go in with a little bit of concealer. If they're just too dark but you like the size, you can just put some powder on it. But this one's just too big. But I mean, it's a little too dark, but I'll just put some powder on it, but I'm mostly worried about the size. But you do also want to be careful because they will smudge. So you don't want like a random white patch in the middle of your face, really. Okay. And then yeah, so sometimes they get a little dark. All you gotta do is take a little bit of powder. You'll probably notice that when you powder, the spray bottle freckles kind of go away. So, you know, don't like don't use the powder unless you absolutely have to. And that is where I'm going to call it quits on the makeup. The hair is really easy for Ron. Like really, really easy. It's just a ponytail, and then you flip it over your head and just pin it. But yes, that's the finished makeup. I forgot sideburns. I always fucking forget the sideburns. Okay, wait, give me a sec. Hold up. I just use my eyebrow thing. I have red eyebrows, so I have an auburn eyebrow pencil, and I just feather in some sideburns. Okay, now the makeup is done. Ooh. Yeah, so ponytail. Get it to like the length you want, approximately. Actually scoop mine down a little bit. That's probably about where I want it. Yeah, so it's probably about the length I want it. I might scoot it down my head like a little bit, but yeah, you just want your ponytail in a space, and you want it to be pretty tight, but it doesn't have to be super tight. Okay, so that's the length I want it. You'll probably notice that my hair does flick out, so we're gonna have to straighten it. But first I'm gonna sort of pin it in like the general place that I want it, because, you know, so I'm gonna take some really big bobby pins. I got these big chunky boys, but like any clipped or whatever you want to use. But now that it's like approximately in the right spot, I'm gonna straighten my hair a little bit, just so it's not doing like this thing where it flicks up. So I want it sort of just down. So I'm gonna straighten. I'm gonna like set up my straightener and then be right back. Okay, so while I was while I was heating up my straightening iron, I was just pinning the sides a little bit so it stays approximately where I want it. And it's really weird today. My hair just, sometimes your hair won't cooperate, and that's normal and fine. But I'm really scared of burning myself, because I got burned kind of badly as a kid. It's fine, it's not a big deal. But I'm terrified of burning myself, so I have my glove. And we're just gonna straighten it, but like curl it down while we're straightening, so that it stops. Oh, I'm burning my hair. Why does this look so bad? It never looks this bad. But just the hair that's sticking up, so that it like doesn't stick up anymore. So, you know, we're not going for like straight hair. Like, I don't want to straighten my hair. So I've straightened it a little bit just so it doesn't curl up and do a weird thing when I turn to the side. Even though I'm not really going to be turning to the side that much, because then you can see my ponytail. We don't want that. Okay, so you gotta keep going in with bobby pins until it looks good. And today I've got a little bit more of a challenge than normal, because today my hair has decided that it doesn't want to cooperate, which is normal for me because I have annoying thick hair and it never wants to cooperate, but today it extra doesn't want to cooperate, which is fine. It just means we gotta do more work and more bobby pins to get it to behave. So at this point, I'm working on my ponytail a little bit because my ponytail is kind of sticking out weirdly. And although you're gonna want to try and avoid turning to the side, like in general, you still want to try and flatten the bump of your ponytail as much as possible, so that you can turn as much to the side as possible without exposing yourself as somebody with long hair. Another solution to this, of course, is wear a hat. Lots of people wear beanies when they do their hair like this, and it's super cute. And I respect and adore that, and I think it's so cute, but it's just not for this character. So I gotta do illusion stuff. Anyway, I'm just gonna basically just keep bobby pinning until I'm happy. So I guess I'll come back when I'm happy. Okay, so I did some pinning and I'm mostly happy with it. I'm not like the happiest I've ever been, but I might keep pinning a little bit. But I mean, it's close. The next step is hairspray. You just want a hairspray or gel or whatever works for you. All this back, and then this needs to be bobby pinned and sprayed up. See you after I do that. Okay, so I'm mostly done hairspraying, and here's where I get to tell you that sometimes you gotta pick a side. Sometimes both of your sides are not gonna work. For example, this side, you can still see my ponytail. This does not look good, but from this side, aside from that, which needs to be bobby pinned, you can't really see my ponytail. Everything looks cleaner and better and like a boy. So, you know, sometimes you have a side, and that's okay. You just gotta know what your side is so that you can film facing this way and not facing this way. Yeah, so that is how I do my hair and makeup. for Ron. Alright, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope that this was helpful. Bye!